changed everything. The piercing screech of alarms ripped through the sleek, glass-walled headquarters of Horizon Innovations, a tech giant on the verge of launching its revolutionary AI platform. Red warning lights pulsed across every monitor in the sprawling open-plan office, where employees froze, their faces pale with dread. At the center of the chaos stood Ethan Caldwell, the 38-year-old CEO, his crisp suit jacket unbuttoned, sweat beading on his forehead. His voice boomed over the din, sharp and desperate. Get it back online. Now. The system, Horizon's crown jewel, a decade in the making, had crashed just hours before its global unveiling. Billions of dollars, the company's reputation, and Ethan's legacy hung in the balance. This wasn't just a glitch, it was a catastrophe. And in that moment, no one, not the brilliant coders, not the frantic executives, not even Ethan himself, had any idea that salvation would come from the unlikeliest of places, a janitor's kid with a knack for seeing what others couldn't. Hey, if you're hooked already, stick with me, this story's about to take you on an emotional roller coaster. Hit that like button if you're ready for an inspiring tale, and subscribe to catch more stories that'll tug at your heartstrings. Ethan paced the command center, a high-tech war room lined with screens now displaying nothing but error codes. His team of engineers, some of the brightest minds in Silicon Valley, typed furiously, their faces etched with exhaustion. The clock on the wall ticked mercilessly toward the 8 p.m. launch event, where investors, media, and the world's tech elite would gather to witness Horizon's AI, codenamed Aurora, revolutionize industries from healthcare to finance. Aurora was Ethan's brainchild, born from a promise he'd made to his late father, a factory worker who dreamed of a world where technology lifted everyone up. But now, with the system offline and no explanation, that dream was slipping through Ethan's fingers. Talk to me, Priya. Ethan snapped, turning to his lead engineer, Priya Sharma, a 32-year-old prodigy with a reputation for solving impossible problems. Priya's fingers flew across her keyboard, but her voice trembled. It's not a coding issue, Ethan. The servers are responding, but the core algorithm, it's like it's rewriting itself. I've never seen anything like this. Her words sent a chill through the room. Rewriting itself? That was impossible. Aurora was designed to be stable, predictable. Ethan's mind raced. Was it sabotage? A rival company? A hack? The stakes were astronomical. Horizon's stock was set to soar post-launch, and a failure would tank it overnight. Across the office, unnoticed by the panicked executives, Maria Gonzalez, a janitor who'd worked nights at Horizon for 15 years, mopped the floors near the break room. Her 16-year-old son, Lucas, sat cross-legged on the polished tiles, his second-hand laptop open, earbuds blasting music. Lucas was a quiet kid, small for his age, with dark eyes that seemed to see more than he let on. He wasn't supposed to be there. Maria had brought him because her sister, who usually watched him, was sick. Lucas didn't mind. He loved the hum of the office, the glow of screens, the sense that this was where the future was made. But tonight, even he could feel the tension in the air, like a storm about to break. Back in the command center, Ethan's phone buzzed with a call from the board's chairman. Ethan, if Aurora isn't live by 8, we're pulling the plug on the launch. You know what that means. Ethan's jaw tightened. He did know. His job, his vision, his father's dream, all gone. He hung up and turned to his team. We have 3 hours. Find the problem, or we're done. His voice cracked, betraying the fear he'd been hiding. Priya exchanged a glance with her colleague, Tom, a veteran coder with a knack for optimism. We'll figure it out, boss, Tom said, but his forced smile didn't reach his eyes. As the minutes ticked by, the team's efforts yielded nothing. Theories flew, corrupted data, hardware failure, even a power surge, but every test came up empty. Ethan's composure began to fray. He thought of his father, who died before seeing Horizon become a reality. You're meant to build something that matters, his father had said, his voice rough from years on the factory floor. Ethan had poured everything into Aurora, believing it could change lives, diagnose diseases faster, optimize supply chains, make education accessible to millions. Now, it was all crumbling. Meanwhile, Lucas, bored with his homework, wandered toward the command center, drawn by the flashing lights and raised voices. Maria, noticing him stray, called out, "Lucas, quédate aquí." But he was already at the glass door, peering inside. He saw the error codes on the screens, the same ones he'd glimpsed while tinkering with open-source software at home. His heart skipped a beat. He recognized something, a pattern in the chaos. Lucas wasn't a prodigy, not in the way Priya or her team were. He was just a kid who loved puzzles, who spent nights teaching himself to code because his school's computers were too old to run modern programs. But something about those error codes felt familiar. Lucas slipped inside, unnoticed at first. He stood behind Priya, watching her screen. "It's not the servers," he said quietly. Priya spun around, startled. "Who are you?" she demanded. Ethan, overhearing, stormed over. "Kid, this isn't a game. Get out." But Lucas didn't flinch. "The algorithm's stuck in a feedback loop," he said, his voice steady despite the room's hostility. "It's trying to optimize itself but hitting a logic paradox. I've seen it before in a simulation I ran." The room went silent. Ethan stared, incredulous. A janitor's kid, barely old enough to drive, claiming to understand Aurora's core. Priya, desperate for any lead, pulled Lucas closer. "Show me." Lucas hesitated, then leaned over her keyboard, his fingers moving with surprising confidence. He pointed to a line of code buried in the error log. "Here. The AI's trying to reconcile conflicting optimization goals. It's overthinking." Priya's eyes widened. She'd been so focused on hardware and external threats that she hadn't considered an internal logic flaw. "How do you even know this?" she asked. Lucas shrugged, a shy smile breaking through. "I mess around with code. Mom's always here late, so I've got time." Ethan, still skeptical but out of options, gave Priya a nod. "Let him try." The team watched, half expecting failure, as Lucas and Priya worked together, rewriting a segment of the algorithm to bypass the paradox. Minutes stretched into an hour, the tension in the room palpable. Maria, who'd been frantically searching for Lucas, burst in, her face a mix of fear and anger. "Lucas! What are you doing?" Ethan held up a hand. "Let him work." As the clock neared 7:30 p.m., Lucas hit enter. The screens flickered. The alarms stopped. A soft hum filled the room as Aurora's interface reloaded, its sleek dashboard glowing once more. The team erupted in cheers, but Lucas stepped back, his face flushed. Priya grabbed his shoulder, grinning. "You did it, kid." Ethan, still processing what had happened, approached Lucas. How did you know?" Lucas looked down, suddenly shy. "I just saw the pattern. It's like a puzzle. I like puzzles." Maria, tears in her eyes, pulled Lucas into a hug. "I'm so proud of you, Mijo." Ethan watched them, his own emotions swirling, relief, gratitude, and something deeper. He'd spent years chasing his father's dream, surrounded by the best minds money could hire, yet it was a kid with no formal training who'd saved them. It hit him hard, talent wasn't confined to boardrooms or Ivy League degrees. It was everywhere, waiting to be noticed. The launch went off without a hitch. At 8 p.m. Ethan took the stage, the crowd unaware of the chaos that had unfolded. Aurora dazzled, its capabilities exceeding even the loftiest expectations. But Ethan's speech wasn't just about the tech. He told the story of Lucas, the janitor's son who'd seen what no one else could. The audience rose to their feet, moved by the idea that brilliance could come from anywhere. Lucas, watching from backstage with Maria, blushed as the spotlight found him. In the weeks that followed, Horizon didn't just recover, it soared. Ethan made changes. He created a scholarship fund for kids like Lucas, ensuring they'd have access to the tools and education they needed. He invited Maria to join the company's advisory board, valuing her perspective as someone who'd seen Horizon from the ground up. And Lucas? He became an intern, working alongside Priya, who'd become his mentor and friend. But more than that, Lucas inspired Ethan to redefine success, not just as profits or prestige, but as lifting others up, just as his father had wanted. As the dust settled, Ethan sat in his office one evening, staring at a photo of his dad. He realized the crash hadn't just been a crisis, it had been a wake-up call. Horizon wasn't just about building tech, it was about building people. And in that moment, he felt his father's pride. Wow, what a journey, right? If this story moved you, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs a dose of inspiration. Subscribe to our channel for more stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Let's keep spreading the message that brilliance is everywhere, sometimes, it's just waiting for a chance to shine.